Welcome to the BISP solution. BISP is a tech company which provides technical solution across the world. Today we will we will talk about the travel expense planning and how to set up a drivers under it. How could we set up a driver in a travel expense planning? So for setting up the drivers in it, we will move on to the our Excel sheet. Here I will open it here. So here we will understand the concept. We will understand the concept of drivers. What is actually the driver, and how can we do how can we set up the particular driver here. So for this we would understand this concept here. Yeah, so here in our yesterday's class we have discussed about the mode of vehicle, that there is a one vehicle is a bike and one vehicle is a car, and the distance from home to office is also quite different. Here is a 30 kilometer, if here is home to office is 45 kilometer. So we discussed both the things, but the concept of driver is the calculation which would be totally based on it is a driver. It could be our driver. So for this I could say some drivers. Suppose uh, yes, here I'm getting the new sheet here for your easy explanation. So suppose here the travel expense forecast. So for this we have to set up the formulas here. Set up the formulas in our planning instance. Along with that, we also have to use the particular member formula for that. This is the current month mode of travel and the distance from home to office, mileage, fuel consumption, fuel unit price, total fuel required, XYZ. So the resultant, the outcome figure, which would become on the basis of driver. Suppose here the mode of travel is a smart list here, and the distance from home to office is 30 kilometer. So I could say mm, I could say here the distance from home to office. Yes, here I would just this is the distance from home to office. So this is one driver, and if I could say the resultant figure is a total distance travel in a day. So suppose we have to find it. Suppose we have to find total distance. So it could be computed on the basis of driver. It it could be computed on the basis of driver here. Here the formula could be distance from home to office. Uh, it could be multiplied into 2 to compute the distance from both the side here. Yeah. So so the particular resultant figure would be calculated on the basis of the driver. Here the same thing would be here. Mm, like the bike mileage. So the bike mileage is 60 kilometer per liter. So if bike consume 1 liter of petrol, 1 liter of fuel when it runs to 60 kilometer distance, so per day fuel consumption would be 1 liter, because our distance is a 60 kilometer and the bike mileage is also 60 kilometer. So here the bike mileage is a driver. I could say the bike mileage is a driver. Here I will make it quite bold. So yes, total distance traveled in a day. Here the distance from home to office. So the bike mileage would be also one driver. So if we want to find the fuel consumption per day, the fuel consumption per day, the fuel consumption per day, which we have to find it. So for this, for the consumption of it, we have to use two drivers, like the bike mileage and the total distance. Here the bike mileage would be like I could say bike mileage divided by total distance traveled in a day. Here the bike mileage would be divided by the total distance. So when it would be divided, the resultant figure fuel unit price. Here the fuel unit price would be uh, 120 INR. 120 rupees is the price of a 1 unit of fuel. So travel expense cost per day would be fuel travel expense travel expense cost per day. Here the travel expense cost of 1 day would be, suppose our by consume uh, per day fuel is a fuel consumption per day multiplied by fuel unit price. Yes, it could be fuel fuel consumption per day. Here it could be multiplied by the fuel unit price. So we are taking the particular driver in under it. Travel expense cost per day. Number of days travel in a month. Travel expense cost per day. Number of days travel in a month. So here the travel expense cost per day and number monthly travel expense. If you want to find the monthly, so monthly travel expense. So for this we have to multiply this by the number of days travel. Like uh, here it could be travel expense cost per day multiplied by number of days travel, month, total fuel required, monthly travel. Here the total fuel required would be same like 22 days, so 22 liter fuel would be required. The monthly travel expense, for the monthly travel expense, uh, we have to we can number of days travel in a month in cost per day. Travel expense, monthly travel expense, it could be 120 into 22. Yes, so yeah, this formula which we have written in above line. So these are the some basic driver based calculation. Here we could say that the particular driver is here, and the calculation on the basis of driver which we have written here, like total distance travel in a day, fuel consumption, travel expense cost per day, monthly travel expense. So we could say it's a driver based approach through which we can calculate it. The same thing which we could do in this area, but if there would be different version. So for this version is a is different type of scenarios changes. Here is a fuel unit price 106 is a one of the version. Here the version 2 would be the fuel unit price of 108. So the versioning concept is quite differ, where the number of days travel by bike and number of days travel by car. For this, we have to implement certain version here. Here we have also one example of the same thing, like the driver based calculation here, and the same thing for here. So the travel expense is a month expense. Like suppose travel expense 1202 in this month. In Feb 23, it could be around it, and in December 2072, according to the situation. So these are totally based on the situation and scenario. So the same concept would be applied. Same concept would be applied under it and a travel expense forecast. Here we could say the fuel unit price is 102 in this month, 104. So there is there is some inflation and deflation comes in the fuel unit price. So according to it, the same thing affect the travel expense, monthly travel expense, monthly travel expense planning. If there is certain amount of reduction or inflation in the price, we could say this is actually the trend here. And we could say it's like a particular formula based on it, which we have to which we have to apply while computing the driver based uh, planning, driver based outcome. So it's a driver based calculation here, and this is the sheet on the basis of which if there is certain difference in the price, so we can find it. So I hope in that till here you are getting the exact thing what we want to talk in setting up the drivers, that how could I set up the drivers. On the basis of this sheet we could say this is the driver, and on the basis of member formula and business rules we could set up the drivers under it, and we can get the exact outcome of what we actually want to get. Here uh, we will also discuss in upcoming classes about trend based trend based planning, and also some other concept we will also discuss in our upcoming classes. So till that, take care. Now I am closing this session till here. This session is going to complete. So now I am going to close this session. Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you so much for watching this session. Now I am going to close this session. If you have any query, then you can just feel free to ask me. That's it for today. Now I am going to close this session now. That's it for today.